South Wales Police, what's the emergency?
I've just come home and I found my mother's body in the dining room.
There's something covered in plastic.
Yeah, code blue appears as a body in the living room.
What was your mother's name?
June Fox Roberts.
So it's fair to say the person doing this is going to be absolutely caked in blood and all sorts, isn't it?
There's some very fresh hair dye in the bathroom sink upstairs.
It's going to be a forensic case, isn't it?
Is a missing person who's unaccounted for, a guy called Luke Dealey.
We just found a dirty guy in the yard. He's just walking up a road with 2 rucksacks and a carry bag.
They could be clothes from the murder scene because whoever committed that murder has potentially cleaned themselves and changed in that house. So I'm wondering, is that what contained a man, shaved?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Done his hair?
Yeah, that's my exact thoughts.
Wow.
Yeah.
To me, that looks like Luke Dealey.
Pop down what you're doing at the moment.
Great-grandmother June Fox Roberts has been brutally killed in her home. Her body, discovered by her daughter, has been dismembered.
I'm going up to June's house today just to gain a real understanding, firsthand, I suppose, about what's actually happened. When we attend murder scenes, we're going to someone's private space. This is their home, but this is ultimately where they've been murdered. And this is where we need to do the best that we can for families to get the answers that they really need, as well as, importantly, getting the answers we need for the investigation.
South Wales Police have arrested 25-year-old art student Luke Dealey, who'd been reported missing. He's refusing to talk. Now detectives need to find the evidence and prove whether he's the individual responsible.
Do you want to go in?
Yeah,
you can familiarise yourself with it.
So flashbulb where it's been cleaned, it looks like if there has been an initial disturbance, it's likely to be here. Okay, and then, so moving from there then, we've got the bags where the limbs were found. That's her crochet in there, I think. The family station would have probably just stayed in and crocheting when they were away.
So this is June's bedroom. Right. So this is how it was. The bed was made, the lamp on, curtains closed. And that was it, like there's no other disturbance either in here.
Just looks like she just got out of bed. Yeah. So I can just imagine, she's in bed here, here's that disturbance, or the dog barking downstairs.
Put the light on.
Light on, throws the quilt back, and then walks downstairs. Taking my investigator's hat off, you always have some thought as to what if this was a member of your own family, and what has this person gone through in their last moments in such a harrowing and gruesome attack as this? Yeah, it can be tough at times. And then into the bathroom
into the bathroom, we got these bare
we say that he's changed his appearance.
So yes, we got the sink area where the dye bottle, the gloves were.
Yeah.
And the hair.
Current situation report then. Today we arrested Luke Dealey, local male. He's been reported as a missing person and he's in custody now, and you look at him, he hasn't slept for 3 days, he's clearly dirty and dishevelled in custody. He looks different, the male I see in his Facebook photos several months ago. Some early examination of his property, I'm told, is showing potential blood on some of the bags he's in possession of, yeah?
Yeah, so one of the black rucksacks.
But Luke has got no DNA or fingerprints on the system, has he?
No.
In this case, Luke had no criminal past, but we had some really important evidence from the scene. We had lots of pieces of the jigsaw, but we just needed to fit them all together in the right order.
2 weeks before he went missing, Luke Dealey was living in a shared student house half an hour from the crime scene.
We go in to see a former flatmate of the subject. It would be quite a shock for anyone, really, to be involved in something like this. So the statement I was looking at taking from yourself, it was a follow-up statement in relation to what went on. What mentioned was he had access to your phone because he was borrowing your phone to access the internet, isn't it? So what we would be looking at really is anything in relation to his Facebook account.
Detectives are trying to confirm with June's daughters if there was hair dye at their home, which the suspect might have used.
With regards then the hair dye, Abigail confirms that neither her or anyone else she knows within that house would have used the hair dye before they went away. Trish confirms she hasn't dyed her hair before they went away. But what Abigail says is there should be a Schwarzkopf silver metallic hair dye on top of the unit in the bathroom. Well, that's the one, I'm pretty sure it's Schwarzkopf that's been ripped and opened. Yeah. She said, we haven't used that, none of us had dyed our hair. In fact, she said, Mum and I had our hair done away from the house the week before, so we don't dye our hair in the house. So that looks like it's been used by the suspect. Yeah. It did appear to be a calculated, rational decision for the suspect to have changed their appearance by changing their hair, colour, but also wearing the clothing from the house belonging to June's daughter in order to change that appearance when they went back into the public view.
It's just heightening your concerns. How was Luke come to be in possession of those clothes? The obvious hypothesis and conclusion to make, Luke has been in the address.
June's daughter Trish will need to formally identify whether the clothes worn by Dealey belong to her.
Just for the benefit of the recording, can you just give us your full name?
Yeah, my name is Trisha Fox.
There's a few questions we just want to clarify with everything that's been ongoing. We want to show you a couple of things here. It's a selection of stills and photographs taken from some CSI photographs from the investigation. We've got an item of clothing here that I'd like you to have a look at. Do you recognise that?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that your top?
Yeah, that's my top. Yeah, it should be in my room. Why is that top in my jacket?
That's your jacket, is it? Right, okay.
It's extremely difficult to get head round some of the details that we know at this moment.
I walk around the house and I'm like, did he go here? Did he touch these things? What did he do while he was here?
He's been through all of my personal items in my room. He entered through what is my bedroom. He took my clothes. To be given that information was... It was extremely disturbing.
Patrols in Llantwit Vadra have stepped up, police going door to door and searching woodland.
I'm Detective Chief Superintendent Jason Davis. I stress this is an ongoing investigation, and anybody with information who has not yet come forward, I urge them to do so, no matter how insignificant the information may seem.
The investigation now shifts its focus to locating where Luke Dealey may have left his other clothes.
There's been a sighting of someone acting suspicious here, and then obviously there's a pathway then from here all the way up and into the residential areas. We're looking for any signs of someone's been staying there, someone's been sleeping rough there, campfires, litter. We'll push in through the fields along this map. Any clothing, any bags, and then any signs of personal belongings. Okay. Give me a shout and we'll get CSI up there.
Oh, sorry about you. I'm currently with a major crime investigation team in Cardiff. We're investigating a serious incident. We're speaking to the neighbours just to check if there was anything discarded.
Information came in about a missing person last seen in the University of South Wales. A tall, athletic male wearing shorts with black with a white panel on them, a baseball cap, and he had quite a well-defined beard.
Where it becomes interesting is we've got CCTV, which we've picked up during the investigation and has been brought into the room, which shows him up near the student union. If you look at the shots, they really look similar to shots we took out of the murder scene, which they're within a bag with some of the dismembered body parts. We now needed with the forensic work around the shots just to attribute the shots within the scene to Luke. Just by the fact they look the same isn't enough evidentially, so we need to progress now to the next stage in terms of forensic analysis. The challenge we've got a custody time period of 96 hours. We've got to get forensic exhibits to the lab to be developed to try and link the defendant to the murder.
But there's a problem. Luke Dealey is refusing to give a sample of his DNA for forensic analysis.
It's really, really worrying that if you have got a person in custody you believe is the murderer, but you have to release because you can't turn around forensic results in time, it's a real uncomfortable place to be, especially when that clock is ticking down as well.
Southwest Police, how may I help you?
Hi, I'd like to report my housemate for verbal and physical abuse and threatening harm. His name's Luke Dealey.
I just came to Cardiff for uni. I just wanted to make some nice friends. We met Luke on a Facebook page for people that were looking for houses to stay in. Luke, he's really into music, into art and stuff, and we were like, he seems like someone that we would click with. It became more apparent the more we lived with each other that it was harder for us to be around each other. He'd spend quite a lot of the day drawing in the kitchen area, pictures of Satan and stuff. He did self-portraits of himself as well, which always made him look quite evil. It freaked us out.
Today, he's verbally abused me and threw a cup of water over me and threatened physical violence.
We're just in shock, just pure shock, what has happened.
What did he say to you?
Just that I'm a and I'm a bitch, and to I need to learn respect and to watch myself and stuff like that.
That's when he started just getting really loud and really quite threatening. That was the last time I saw him.
Everyone ready? Thanks for everyone again. It's been a long day again. It's day 4 now, really, isn't it, into the murder. Long hours. There's a bit of an issue in custody in that the DNA paste sample for Luke is still outstanding. Section 18 has been undertaken today at Luke's previous property. Yeah? I know there were some concerning features in respect to what's been seized and photographed. Do you just want to develop that for me, please?
Luke moved in with the other housemates at the beginning of September. There's been a difficult relationship between him and the 2 females living at the address. One of the things that we have mentioned is that he would eat liver for breakfast, which sort of raised our eyebrows a little bit when they mentioned it. But he'd sort of leave the meat juices on the floor, and the girls would fall out with him over that.
We try to understand the person's antecedents, their history, and doing this investigation was clear. Previous housemates of Luke had concerns about Luke's deteriorating frame of mind. That became important during the investigation, just in building up the fuller picture around Luke.
You got numerous pictures up on the wall of women and girls. A lot of it is around sort of bondage, some professionally taken sort of photographs of women tied up in various positions, numerous documentation and pieces of writing. His handwriting isn't the easiest to sort of distinguish, a lot of notes and ramblings.
Lots and lots of good information coming in, lots of actions being done, so again, let's keep it up. Bear in mind, we've obviously got a suspect in custody with the custody clock ticking down.
Well, this stuff on here is been taken from the suspect. I know the investigation team are interested in depictions. So you've got some sort of half human, half animal type. There are other bits of blood on this black surface, harder to see.
A few things around Luke that are a little bit concerning. We're still in the process of gathering a lot of the information. It's very early doors. Luke had suffered with his mental health since about his late teens. Missing person report comes from one of the psychiatric doctors that is responsible for Luke's care. They believe that he's not taking his medication and that once he is located, they wanted him to be sectioned.
There's some news reports coming out now. For example, this one saying attacker used chainsaw to kill mother of 3. And it's really upsetting, really, for the family because they just want to be left alone, really, to grieve with this. And it's factually incorrect. Chainsaw hadn't been used during this attack.
We've got him on CCTV in the area, pre the incident. But we really need to piece together now how he's got to the scene. We just need to make sure that we capture all available CCTV, really. So we've got dash cam footage for here. This individual, we know he's left the Cardiff area on the 11th of November. Essentially, he's homeless after that point. We know that he didn't have a source of income. One of our theories is maybe that he is stealing and selling items on to fund his being able to eat, really. The focus of us coming down here at the moment is just to see, really, what are the routes that you would take to this property and really how has he entered the premises and left.
Dealey is still refusing to cooperate with detectives and is now only speaking Welsh.
I think he's explained some issues in custody. Oh, is he? There's trouble because he wants a Welsh translator and they can't find through it someone with the right level translation.
When a person comes into custody, they have their rights and they've absolutely got a right to an interpreter if they wish, no matter what language they speak. And Luke has asked for a Welsh interpreter. And when you've only got 96 hours, again, to deal with someone in custody at a maximum, was exceptionally frustrating.
The extended CCTV search has now yielded a result.
What essentially it shows is a person we believe to be the suspect going into some rear gardens just prior to 01:45 in the morning. We're going to see our suspect walking along here with the 2 bags that he's been seen walking with before. He's entered the rear garden, he activates his security lights. So that's our last sighting of the suspect, 20-second walk away from the victim's address. As we tracked him over the coming days, the short remained a consistent item of clothing. Over the days, he acquired 2 bags for life, which he was carrying, which again, that with a long anorak that he was wearing at times, really helped us piece together his movements in the early hours and in fact later on entering St Anne's Drive.
I have
known defeat for the last time.
Very strange. Should we go through where we are then?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, they've taken the swab this morning.
Yeah. Great. Happy days.
That went up at 8 o'clock this morning to the lab.
Yeah. It's quite tight, really, isn't it? I think this is going to be forensic and CCTV, perhaps, and the daughter's clothing. Hopefully now we can get a interview in this evening.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
All right.
Luke Dealey's DNA sample has finally been taken. Now it needs to be urgently processed by the forensic lab for comparison to the DNA on the shorts that were left at the scene.
The shorts, they were prioritised mainly because we thought we've got a good chance of getting the wearer's DNA here. So, and obviously to obtain the wearer's DNA, we would look at the waistband because that's the area that would generally slough off skin cells where we can obviously get a good source of DNA from.
So you've just spoken to Jane, the scientist up in the lab. What's Jane got to say?
So the latest update that we've got is that the shorts, so that's been examined, but that area of the waistband has been swabbed and has come back as a full male DNA profile.
That's not on the database?
That's not on the database.
So they're still working with his swab to attain a profile that we can match?
Yeah, so the DNA paste sample has been taken off him in custody. They're still waiting for the results for that.
The shorts he's wearing beforehand in the CCTV, the shorts are found in bags next to the body.
Yeah.
And we're hoping the unascertained match is him when we work out his profile.
Yeah, when that profile's released from the database and they can do the matches there.
So if you send the shorts up and you have DNA results from the shorts, if you haven't got a person's DNA to compare them to, it becomes pretty irrelevant. So the fact we didn't get Luke's DNA for 2 days into the custody clock was exceptionally frustrating.
With only 11 hours left before the custody clock expires, the team needs to verify if the DNA on the shorts is Dealey's.
By this afternoon at 3 o'clock, we're hoping that we'll get Luke's profile confirmed.
They'll do a direct comparison.
Yeah.
What we got is so significant. But I'm mindful this is all about custody time limits again for a charging decision.
A murder suspect will remain in custody for further questioning following the death of a woman in Rhondda-Cynon-Taf. June Fox Roberts was found at her home in Llantwit-Fardre on Sunday afternoon. Police have obtained a warrant to hold the 25-year-old man arrested on suspicion of murder.
Nerys is here as the Welsh language interpreter. Obviously, we're going to use English, but if there's any issues that you want translated, any words you don't understand, I can either rephrase things or Nerys can assist with translation.
Okay.
Well, we've started the interview process with Luke. We've asked him his knowledge of the murder or the death of June Fox Roberts at 49 St Anne's Drive in Llantwit-Fardre.
Is that you in the CCTV?
No comment.
And the male there has got what looks like a carrier bag and a black rucksack on his back. Is that you?
No comment.
With the mountain evidence, it'd be interesting whether he maintains the no comment or he does give an account of his movements.
We obviously delved deeper into Luke's background, starting looking at social media, Twitter feeds. It just fed into that narrative of quite a disturbed mind and real concerning thoughts, really.
A tweet by Luke, I'll break your neck, I'll rip out your spine. I honestly don't think people should underestimate how much of a fucking psycho I am nowadays. Yeah, it is really shocking to read, actually. It'd be quite upsetting for the family to have to listen to this.
The post-mortem report reveals harrowing details of June's shocking injuries.
Some real concerning findings, really, from the initial pathology. It's a very rare and quite unique preliminary post-mortem report, yeah, to the extent of injury. The head has been totally decapitated, low down on the neck. Dismembered limbs. Blunt force injury is present on each limb, mainly bruising with palpable fractures to the left wrist bones, which are associated with bruising and appeared to have been sustained in life, so again, possibly self-defence.
June was 65. She was a grandmother. She was murdered in her home over the weekend. She's been subjected to a pretty horrific attack. Her head's been cut off, as have both her arms and legs. And her body parts have been put in bags in the living room, and someone has tried to clear up the house. You failed to account for any of your movements over the weekend. How do you explain that?
No comment.
In my 30 years as a police officer, it was probably one of the worst, or the worst, pathologist report I've ever seen for injuries to a victim. He is responsible for it, and it's damage limitation, really, not to answer any of the questions.
Hi, is that Abby? Hi, Abby, it's Mandy. Just to give you an update, really, we haven't charged anybody yet. The investigation into the murder is continuing. As soon as, obviously, we have a charging decision, we will let you know, and we'll keep you updated on that.
The next thing I need to speak to you about is a pair of black Adidas shorts, which are size medium, with a tear on the left leg.
So, can we take a break? Is that cool?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, bear with me. At Luke's request for a break, we're going to take a pause. It is now 19:58 hours, and I'm going to stop the recording.
Jane, it's Andy from South Wales. There's a few of us gathered round the table. I'll throw it open to you to tell us what you're going to tell us, really, if that's all right.
We've got a full profile from his paste sample. We've also looked at your instructional shorts,
Yeah.
because those were the ones that were identified on CCTV.
Yeah.
So those did have quite a bit of blood on. Again, you'd expect that. It was in the bag with the body parts and possibly worn by your offender. We looked at the inside of the waistband to try to obtain a DNA profile for wearer DNA.
Yeah.
And we've actually managed to obtain a full DNA profile which matches the DNA profile of Luke Dealey.
Fantastic. Brilliant. You dragged it out a bit there for us,
Panicking a bit.
But that's a good result.
So you'll get, on the shorts, you'll get a statistic of 1 in a billion straight
Right.
away.
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
It'd been a long week, not much sleep. So to have that sort of golden nugget, that piece of evidence forensically was a huge relief.
Hi, Super. Yeah, good.
Yeah. We've just had an update from the lab. As expected, it's come back as a 1 in 1 billion hit for Luke.
Fantastic.
We can do the usual stage disclosure and interview, yeah?
Yeah, thanks, Super.
Ta-da, ta-da. Bye. All murders are horrific, and you can't comprehend what the families are going through, but this one in particular, where you've got a stranger murder in their own house, where, like say, the body's been dismembered, and the level of violence and dismemberment you can't even try to comprehend, can you? So yeah. This will all now be put to Luke, and then he'll have the opportunity to answer should he wish to.
Shorts matching that have been found at June's house. They're in an Asda bag in the living room, and also in that bag is one of June's arms, which has been cut from her body. As I said, those shorts have been forensically examined and your DNA is on them. How can you explain that?
No comment.
Did you shave your beard, dye your hair, change your clothes in an attempt to get away?
No comment.
Did you subject June to a horrific attack that ended her life and then chopped up her body?
No comment.
If that's not the case, if there's anything you haven't told me that would be relevant, now is your opportunity.
No comment.
Okay, I'm now going to conclude this interview.
No emotion.
Thanks, completely deadpan.
Totally.
It's still Thursday, the 25th of November, 2021, and I'm going to stop the recording.
We built up a real strong evidential case to say Luke's the murderer. If then behind that there are mental health issues, psychiatric issues, which means someone can't form the mental intent to have committed that murder in the first place, but that's part of law and that's part of British judiciary, so we can't do any more than that.
Luke, if you can come up to the desk for us here, okay?
Okay, Luke, you're going to be charged with the offence shown below. You do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention now something which you'll later rely on in court, and anything you do say may be given in evidence. You're being charged that between the 19th of November and the 21st of November of this year, at 49 St Anne's Drive in Llantwit, you murdered June Fox Roberts, contrary to common law.
Do you have any reply to make to the caution?
No comment.
The bail has been denied and you'll be going to court in the morning. But is there anything you want, though? Drink, food, or anything like that?
I'd be curious to like a hot chocolate and partner, please.
Yeah, that's all right.
Okay.
Try and get some sleep, Luke.
Yeah.
Obviously, family first, if you can make the family aware.
Hi, Abby. Okay, it's Mandy. We've got a charge for murder on Luke Dealey. He will be in magistrate's court now tomorrow. How are you feeling? You okay? Yeah. Been a bit of a whirlwind in the last couple of days.
Ultimately, it's all about bringing justice for June and June's family, but also taking a dangerous offender off the streets to safeguard the wider public as well.
Whilst it was a relief for us, I can't imagine what the relief must have been for the family when we delivered that news that we had actually charged someone and that they could rest assured at that point that we believed we had the right person and that now a lengthy investigation would progress to a criminal trial.
A man has appeared before Cardiff Crown Court charged with murdering a 65-year-old woman in her home. 25-year-old Luke Dealey appeared in court and a provisional trial date was set for May.
Clearly he was violent. We'd been told that he hadn't spoken much, he hadn't made a statement, he'd not commented on anything, which was frustrating because we just wanted him to own it. Our family home is no longer a safe place, and that's how it feels. It feels tainted, it feels violated.
We're just on our way to see June Fox Roberts' family. I'll be meeting Abigail and Tricia, daughters of June, today, just to give them some updates about where we are in the investigation. There might be some sensitive things I need to speak to them about and what happens if mental health is an element in this case. Hi, Abby. Hello. I know it's still a tough time. I know you still haven't got all the answers that you want at this point in time. I think we would all assume, in our sort of nice, happy lives, I suppose, that no one could do this to anyone else. And to do that, you must be, evil or really mentally unwell or have another reason. And that's what I've got to work out, whether he's looking for food, whether he's looking for other things to steal and sell, money. And then has he been disturbed by your mum, which leads to an attack in the hallway. And then he's almost past that point of no return and then goes on to do and think, what am I going to do with the body now? I can pause if this gets a bit too much for you, right? But now we just need to know why and how it was done. And they're the key things I need to try and answer now.
We might never know why.
There will be psychiatric reports compiled. He will be seen by a defence team psychiatrist. And then likewise, he'll be seen by a prosecution psychiatrist. And they will compile reports, essentially. You okay?
Yeah.
All right.
If he didn't have anything to eat, if he didn't have clothes to wear, even if he wanted a drink, my mother would have quite happily given him whatever. And under no circumstances was there any way, any need to take her life.
So obviously we've been waiting now since he's been transferred to Ashworth Hospital.
Right. We've had the go-ahead now. They're telling us that he is fit to enter a plane. We know he's been too unwell for a number of months and he's been under assessment while he's up there. So moving forward now, what's going to happen is he'll be visited by the defence's psychiatrist and then he'll be assessed by ours, and depending on what they say will depend on where we go then moving forward.
That'll be a good update for the family because they've been waiting, they've been so patient and everything, and now having this, they know the ball's rolling, it's the next stage for them.
There's a coming together then of a defence expert and a prosecution expert to say, well, we've assessed Luke under different circumstances. Do we come to a common agreement that Luke's mental health has played an impact within this murder?
The timescales were hard. It seemed so long. The brutality and the horrificness of what he did to my mum, we knew that this wasn't someone who had any sense of right or wrong in that moment.
He was found to be suffering with paranoid schizophrenia, and he would have been, at the time of the offence, and had he not been unwell, it may never have happened.
It's frustrating that he wasn't taking accountability of his own health. He clearly knew he wasn't well, but at the same time, knowing that he has a mental illness does explain his actions a little bit more.
Manslaughter is a lot different to murder, that there's no premeditation in it, there wasn't any intention, and that maybe he didn't mean to do what he did, and that is really difficult for the family to comprehend due to the tragic nature and how horrific the injuries were to June.
A man who killed a woman at her home in Llantwit Fodra is going to be detained indefinitely at a high-security hospital. 26-year-old Luke Dealey pleaded guilty to manslaughter by diminished responsibility. He brutally attacked June Fox Roberts and then dismembered her body while he was suffering from paranoid schizophrenia.
This has been a detailed and thorough investigation which has involved months of psychiatric evaluation alongside the criminal investigation. I would like to thank everyone who assisted my team and I. Without everyone's support, the investigation would not have progressed so quickly for June's family, who have waited so long for answers to what had taken place. They have waited with such patience and dignity for answers as to how June came by her death.
This is a tribute on behalf of June's family. On Sunday, November the 21st, 2021, our world imploded. June Fox Roberts was taken from us in a horrific way by a complete stranger. June was a mother, grandmother and great-grandmother and loved spending time with her extended family. June was not afraid of death, but she wanted to die peacefully with her family around her. And Luke stole that right from her and all of us when he took her life years before her natural time. We will feel this loss for the rest of our lives. Any person in the community, their understanding is if a loved one is murdered, that person is arrested, that person goes to prison and they never come out. So to bring in the element of mental health is really difficult for a family to understand. They think it's a get out of jail free card, which is not the case.
He is ill. He does have a mental illness. Matt and Vicky, our family liaison officer, have kind of explained to us about the diminished responsibility and what it means, because it's manslaughter rather than murder. And while to start with, it feels like it's a lower charge. Actually, he's going to spend longer now in a facility than he would if he was in a prison, if it was murder.
I don't want anyone to ever have to go through what we have had to go through. I hope he never gets out.
Luke's in the right place, getting the help and support that he needs, but in a place of safety where he can't bring harm to any other members of the public.
I feel very much for his family and the impact that this has had on his family as well. His family aren't responsible. Luke is responsible for his actions. Luke will live with this for the rest of his life, as we'll live with it for the rest of ours.
The weekend that this horrific incident happened, my mother was meant to meet a great-grandchild. I am devastated. She never got to meet her great-granddaughter.
I just cannot fathom for 1 minute what June's family must have felt when they went in and found the body themselves. It's certainly a case that will stick with me for the rest of my service, and images that will stick with me for the rest of my life, no doubt, and certainly for my team. I just hope that the outcome in this case will give June's family some reassurance that we did all we could to answer all their questions and give them some way of moving on with their lives.
One of the biggest things will always be for us the garden. She was always happiest in the garden.
Trampolines go in there.
Yeah.
Amazing. And we've got a fence off that.
Yeah. It just still feels so unreal that this happened to us and to my mum.
They say time is the best healer. I'm only going to know in time.
I think at some point it's all going to hit me, and at that point is when I'll grieve, because I haven't grieved yet. We feel that she's with us.
She's everywhere. My mum's legacy will live on. She'll always be in our memories and in our hearts.